I just want to take this moment to just say thank you to the Academy and just welcome to the OC. Bitch.
What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do well.
Of course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elise Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together, we're the Dailies. Dailies doubled.
I knew you. I said not to do
The
it.
Daily Double coming right at ya.
I said not to do it, and you did it anyway.
Yeah, because I do what I want.
This is the
Scott.
podcast where each and every week we get some margaritas with our sexy new coworkers.
Man,
and
I'd like a
discuss
margarita.
The hit 2000s teen drama, The OC. This week on the show, we are covering Season 1, Episode 8, The Rescue.
And before we get into this episode and the next section, I want to ask Scott point blank, why did you not get me a margarita for the show? You know how much I love them. We've never made margaritas at home before. Why have we not made margaritas at home before?
I don't know.
Why have we stopped drinking liquor at home?
I don't drink that much liquor these days.
Yeah, I just drink wine. But I do like a margarita every now and then.
I like margaritas too.
Okay.
If you make them, I'll drink them.
Well, how about you make them?
I don't know.
I already cook.
How it's tequila and lime and
Hey,
salt.
Scott, I have this idea for you.
What?
Did you know
What?
that there's this place that stores an infinite amount of recipes on it?
That seems like
And you can search for whatever recipe you want. And hold on, when you search for it, it gives you a lot of different varieties, and you just get to pick one to try.
I wish
Have you heard about this place?
I wish you would stop it with your Star Trek sci-fi bullshit so we could talk about
know.
this show.
Some people wouldn't believe me, but the technology does exist.
At least
it does.
Can we move on?
We can, because it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. It is time for Rosies and Thornies.
Every rose has its thorn,
Has its thorn.
just like every night has its dawn.
Dawn, dawn, dawn.
Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah. Jesus.
So this is the part of the podcast where Scott and I look back on the week and we talk about the good, the bad, the rosies, the thornies. And as always, we're going to start with the bad. Bad to the bone.
You know,
so
I asked
Scott,
you when you do like to give me like a half a second pause between your stuff so I can cut in there and edit the music in there, and you never give me that time, and it always sounds
Oh,
clunky.
I forget.
It always sounds clunky.
It's okay. Now we know that it's my fault. We know that it's all my fault now.
I mean,
it's okay. The public knows
sure.
I'm to blame.
Sure.
Okay. So Scott, what's your thorn?
My thorn is the evil conglomerate known as YouTube,
Ah,
aka
the
Google.
people, the man.
So
You still haven't heard back from him?
I still haven't heard back. So, this past weekend, as some of you know, the guys from Media MD joined our podcasting network not too long ago. They joined us, and they had a big backlog of their signature show, Media MD, which is a great show that you guys should all listen to. It's really good. We host all our podcasts on YouTube. Not many people listen on YouTube, but some listen on YouTube, and we want to give them that option. We were trying to get them to go through and fill in the backlog of all of their shows on our YouTube channel, all of their old shows before they joined the network. And they did it all at once.
It's a bad idea,
YouTube
Scott.
did not like that. So instead of like just temporarily disabling us from uploading stuff, they've just deleted our YouTube channel. So if you're listening to us out there and you're like, where did the Doof Media YouTube channel go? It's gone. It's gone. They killed it.
But we're hoping that it will be a Lazarus situation here.
Yes.
Yes.
We have appealed
Yes.
the decision to call it spam because we don't agree that it was spam. It was 30 different episodes. It was different content. We were specifically uploading them so they would not appear in your subscription feed if you're subscribed to us on YouTube, because we did not, specifically to avoid spamming. So we were going out of our way to avoid spamming. So we disagreed, and we are just kind of waiting on YouTube to make the decision. Unfortunately, the decision is entirely in their hands. They have no incentive to side with us at all, and we very well could lose our YouTube channel forever. So I'm not happy about that. I don't like YouTube very much right now.
It's understandable.
And look,
They've done you a serious wrong,
Here's
Scott.
the thing. We could survive without a YouTube channel.
No.
We are an audio podcasting media company. We do almost entirely audio. We don't need video. But there's a lot of things we do on YouTube. And we do our exclusive podcasts on there. We do our book club on there. A lot of live streaming stuff. We are looking into doing different video stuff in the future.
Oh.
So it would be very inconvenient. I would not be happy about it. So we're kind of just in a wait and see moment right now.
But you know what?
I'm compulsively checking my email as we speak just to check.
If they don't do it,
What?
we'll just strike a new match and light that one.
Well, the problem with that is I'm pretty sure if they decide to do that, they have very specific. You're basically banned from YouTube. So if they catch you starting a new channel, they don't like that. So I don't know.
Well, then maybe they should listen to the people whenever you emailed them. That would be a smart decision.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, baby.
I know.
I agree with you. It's ridiculous. The whole fact that this entire system is automated in the first place is ridiculous. Like, I understand why it is. It's just you shouldn't have consequences like that in an automated system.
I know.
So we're just playing wait and see. So that's my thorn. Not happy about it.
Sometimes stuff
just the way it
happens.
goes. Just the way it goes.
Yep.
Anyway,
It
Elise,
is.
what
Yeah.
is your thorn for this week?
So, okay, let's just
Whoa.
dive into a little bit of my personality. I am somewhat of a perfectionist, which means I have very high expectations for things
And people,
and people.
including me.
Because I want things to be a particular way. I want things to rise to the level that I feel like they should. So that's what makes it difficult sometimes for actors and actresses to live up to my expectation. It's very high set. And one person who I really hold in high esteem for
Me.
their acting skills
Me.
no, is Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix. Now, Joaquin, he had this new movie that came out this weekend, and I was excited to see it. Scott, I loved the trailer. I'm not a huge DC comic fan, but you know what? I don't see the movies for the stories. I see the movies for the actors. And you know this about me. If I know that a certain person that I like that's an actor is in it, I will go see it. I will just go see it because I like the actor. And you know what? I was very disappointed in this movie, Scott. This movie let me down.
Have you said the name of the movie yet?
Oh, everyone knows it's Joker.
You bury your lead so far into your story.
Joker's a bad movie.
Yeah, at least didn't like the Joker very much.
Yeah. I was ready for it to be over halfway through the movie. I was like twiddling my thumbs, hoping that the checks were going to come as the signal that I had 45 more minutes of this horrible movie to bear. And it came way too late.
I certainly did not think the movie was as bad as you do.
Oh, no, it was awful. Do not go see it in the theaters. Don't give them the money.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit. The movie was fine. It was not great. The second act was definitely very slow.
Scott.
I thought the third act was actually pretty good. I think the end of the movie was pretty good.
Another thing people need to know about me.
What's that?
I don't exaggerate, Scott.
That is
I am no hyperbolic person.
verifiably false.
I am a perfectionist and I am a straightforward realist. I just tell you completely black and white how it is.
Those two things. I am not hyperbolic at all. I am a perfectionist.
Scott,
Yes,
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, continue.
With what?
You were talking about the Joker.
No, I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's fine. All the reasons the internet told me I wasn't supposed to like it, I actually disagree with them on. I don't think it's the movie that a lot of the critics made it out to be. I disagree with a lot of their opinions on them. But I just don't think it's a very good movie. I think it's dull. I think the first and second acts are extremely dull. I think Joaquin Phoenix does an okay job. I think the movie's not very interesting. I think the movie is way smarter than it thinks it is. Or the movie is not as smart as it thinks it is.
That's the sentence right there.
I think the movie thinks that it's being very clever and very smart and very complex, and I don't think it is at all. I think it's a pretty simple story.
It's a pretty bad
with a pretty
story.
simple character and a pretty simple nihilistic message.
Yeah.
And that's really all I think about it.
But hey, if you don't like Robert De Niro, go see the movie.
You know, Fight Club is a way better movie than
Fight
that
Club
movie.
is a lot
better.
better movie than
I think this movie wants to kind of be Fight Club.
I could see that.
I don't think it is.
It's
I
not.
read a great piece from David Ehrlich, the critic, who made that same argument that
see
Fight
that.
Club is the movie Joker wanted to be, and I thought his point was fantastic, and I completely agree with it.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if I've insulted you people that love the Joker. Good for you. I don't like it. I don't hate it as much as Elise, though. Jesus, I've never seen her so mad about a movie. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm sure there's other movies.
Elise, what's
been
your
mad about.
rose?
I just said mine. We're alternating back
Who
and
cares?
forth and back and forth.
Elise, let it go. Let the system go. Just embrace the chaos.
Like the Joker.
Perfectionist. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So if you guys have been listening, you know that I have been undergoing my training in order to be another certified teacher, only this time not of the education system, but of the workout system. And I passed. I passed my certification in order to become a Pure Barre instructor. The crowd goes wild.
Oh my God, you're blowing up the mic so much. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why you can't just not talk so loud.
I'm excited. What's the matter with being excited?
Just don't pound the mic to pieces.
Oh, I'm wrapped around the cord.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. Congratulations, Elise. I'm very
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
What did I get for passing?
You get a new job in which they give you money for working out instead of you having to pay them money to work out,
I guess
which is
that's a
the
good idea.
best system ever.
I get paid to work out.
Yeah. You basically cracked the movie star code. They get paid to work
I did,
out.
didn't I?
Just do that. You're going to be the
Just
most
call
in shape
me
person ever.
A winner.
Just call you Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't want to be Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, you know what I mean.
I'd be Audrey Hepburn.
She's dead.
Well, if she were still living.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So what are you excited about, Scott?
You know
What's
what
been so good for you this
know,
week?
You know what I'm excited about, Elise?
What?
You want to know what I'm excited about?
Are you checking the temperature?
I'm excited that it is 71 degrees outside right now.
nice.
Fall has finally come. And by that, of course, mean we got one cold front, and tomorrow it's going to be back up to the high
I thought
80s.
it's here all week.
No, it's going to be high
No?
80s tomorrow.
Really?
And then a storm's going to hit on Friday, and it's going to be cool
I'm so
again.
disappointed.
The point is, we finally, we were in the mid to high 90s all September, and I was so sick of it. I hated it so much. Fall and winter are my favorite seasons. I live in the wrong state for this, but it is the truth.
But we're going to visit.
Yeah, we
the
are
better
going to
state.
Albany this weekend to visit my sister who lives in upstate New York, and it's nice and cool there. I can't wait.
I'm going to wear some sweaters. I'm really excited.
Okay. So I'm excited. Fall
Maybe
is
I'll
here.
take a scarf.
Oh
Do
my
I need a
God.
scarf?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been to New York in the fall.
I guess that's true. I have.
Well, I haven't. I've never been to New York in the fall.
You're going to see colors.
There's
You're gonna see
colors on
leaves.
trees?
Yes. Leaves turn colors up there.
Gasp.
I know. It's going to be exciting.
I didn't know they did that. I thought they were green year round or they just fell off.
Oh my God. All right. So that is our roses and thorns for the week. Everyone out
Yes.
there, what's your best and worst thing that happened to you this week? Play this game at home. Play with your friends. Play with your family. Play with people you don't like very much.
And maybe you'll grow to like them because you realize that you have some similarities.
What if you have the same thorn? And what if it's each other? That's a bonding experience.
that
right
is.
there.
What do I hate about you? I don't know. What do you hate about me?
Oh, let's figure it out. Let's hash this out.
Maybe we should have that as next
hash
week's
this out over
Rosies and
some-
Thornies.
What-
Scott,
we
what do
talk
you
about-
not like about me?
That sounds like a recipe for a fight, and I don't want to do
No,
that.
the answer should have been nothing, Elise. I love everything about you.
That's not true.
Rude.
Hey, Elise, would you like to talk about...
No, I don't want
The
to talk
Orange
about
County?
anything else with you anymore.
Well, that's going to make a shitty podcast.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you said you don't like anything about me.
The Rescue is the 8th episode of season 1 of The O.C. It was written by Alan Heinberg and Melissa Rosenberg.
Not even acknowledging what I say.
Directed by Michael Lang. This is actually...
Lang.
There's an E after it.
It's a silent E.
It's got to do something. It's got to
No.
transform the A.
It does.
So wouldn't it be?
It would have been long, but now it's lang.
I don't know if that's right. This is actually the first of 13 episodes that Long will direct over the course of the
Lang.
show. It aired on October 29th, 2013.
Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the other... Oh, it just skipped some weeks?
Skipped 6 weeks.
That skipped a lot of weeks.
Our last episode aired September 16th.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was my sister's birthday. And then it's all the way to October?
Yeah.
Was this the writers? No, that wasn't the strike
No.
here.
I think
No.
it's just a fall break.
They didn't used to do that, Scott.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
They literally did it. They skipped 6 weeks.
Scott, this is an anomaly.
Hey, Lisa, I got a question for you.
What?
What television channel was the OC on?
WB.
That's not true.
Fox 4.
What sports event happens in late September, early October?
Are you telling me that they had to put this show on hiatus for football?
Baseball. The baseball playoffs are happening right now.
Baseball?
Uh-huh.
That's better than football. That's fine. Okay, so this episode, Scott, is
Give me the
about...
summary.
While Marissa is in a hospital in Newport recovering from her near-fatal drug overdose in Mexico, Julie unfairly blames Ryan for her condition and forbids him from seeing Marissa, who does not appreciate the help. Meanwhile, Sandy starts his new job, but finds himself surprised by the casework. Kirsten finds herself surprised by Sandy's new coworker, the attractive Rachel. Also, Ryan enrolls at his new school with conditions after his past life in Chino is revealed. Ryan and Sandy then stage an intervention for Julie about her handling of everything, in which she lets Marissa stay with Jimmy, who moves out and rents a small apartment for himself. And now, Scott, you have to do it better.
You know, that's not a bad summary. I think it's poorly written, but it's factually accurate. Right?
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Everything that happened in that summary happened in the episode.
I agree.
It's just not very well written.
It's not, but this is probably the best of all of them
Yeah,
so far.
I agree.
Yes.
Let's see if I could do better at what we're calling 30-second summaries that are definitely not going to be better because we're doing it live. I have not prepared for this at all, and Elise is having trouble finding her timer, so I'm vamping.
Are you ready?
There it is.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Back to Newport, Marissa Cooper barely survived and is recovering in the hospital, but it's time for new school. And as Ryan and Lisa's giving me funny faces. Ryan and Seth go to school to register, and Ryan doesn't get to school. He has to take a test first, but he keeps getting distracted by his test because he wants to help out Marissa Cooper, who Julie is keeping from him. They stage an intervention. I'm using that because the stupid... You know, it's not fair. Like, point of order, Elise has made weird faces at me the entire time.
Time is
the
up.
The entire time I was trying
Time
to do the
is
thing,
up.
Elise is making crazy faces at me.
You know what?
And it's not... If that's the way you want to play the game, then okay, I'll see you next week, Elise. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
At
I'll
least-
see it in 60 seconds.
Elise,
Actually, I don't even have to pretend like I'm not going to see you. I just see you now.
what did you think of the rescue?
So I like this episode. Everything after Mexico really makes this season strong for me because everyone's dynamic just plays off of each other so much better, and everyone starts to actually interact with each other on a regular basis. And so I just like it so much. It again just really helps the Seth and Summer dynamic.
It's getting good.
It's just so good. I forgot when Captain Oates came into play. Do you love Captain Oates or do you love Captain Oates?
You know, I haven't really had time to bond with Captain Oates yet.
But you already know you love him, right?
I feel like Captain Oates and I are going to have a strong connection.
I think you will too. Yeah. What do you two think?
Yeah, I like this episode a lot. I think it feels to me like the show was just kind of in this weird, like, prologue waiting for school to start. You know, like there's been this thing in the show where it didn't feel like it was settling into itself. And I feel like with the start of school and like Sandy's in his new job and now they're going to go to school and like Seth and Summer are starting to hit it off and Luke seems to finally be in the picture. It seems like the show is settling into itself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm liking it a lot. I'm liking the dynamic. I think the writing's a little bit sharper. I think they understand the characters a little bit better. and how they play off each other. You know, because you write a TV show to your actors, and it takes a little bit of time to really get the feel for the actors to start writing to their specific strengths. And I feel like the show has fully realized the incredible talent that Rachel Bilson is, and because she's like fucking amazing in this episode. MVP of the episode for me. I love Cohen. Bilson like nails it.
Well, and I think that goes also into play here, I guess, because before she just had to be this bratty, stuck-up person, and now her character's getting to have more fun. So I think she's just enjoying it more, and so it comes across as she's just better because this is probably closer to her personality, sort of thing. I don't know.
I just think she's getting to actually act, whereas like she was just playing a one-note character, and now she has like at least 6 different notes. All right, Elise, let's move into the beat by beat.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to cover is the previously on, which was like 2 minutes long and covered the entire show up until this point.
Have we been watching the previously on?
It's been before every single episode we've watched.
It has been? Oh.
It's just not been as long as this one. And I didn't know why it was this long until I saw the release date of this episode. And then I understood why they made the previously on a summary of the entire show, because it had been a month and a half since anyone had watched the show. So it's basically, can you imagine waiting 6 weeks to find out if Marissa was dead?
No.
That would have been a long ass wait.
That would have been a really long wait.
She's obviously not dead.
No, because
Cold open. We open on a dark and extremely stormy Cohen kitchen. It is the first day of school and Sandy's new job.
Everyone's having new beginnings.
But no one seems to care because they're all still worried about Marissa, who is totally, totally dead. And this is when I think Elise is very excited to introduce the bagel concept.
Okay, guys, you don't understand how much on this show they eat bagels, and how much on this show, every time that I watch it and rewatch it through, I want bagels.
Uh-huh.
They make the bagels so much. They make them look delicious. Sandy has this expert schmear technique for the bagel, and it always makes me want the bagels. It's coming. And they even, point to it later on about the bagels.
Well, we did.
I love the bagels.
We did in this episode see the bagel guillotine, which is a fantastic device. Did you know what a bagel guillotine was before the show? We had one. Did you have one?
We did not have one. We just bought them sliced already.
Yeah. Typical Rimmers. You're just like the Cohens.
No, not because the Cohens had a guillotine.
Yeah, but those bagels were all sliced already.
Maybe they actually sliced them with the guillotine and then put them back so they could self-choose which ones they wanted.
That seems like a recipe for stale bagels.
When you did that and they had them pre-selected and it was a mix-up, have you ever taken a top half of one flavor and a bottom half of the other?
No.
And mixed the flavors?
No. This is some Joker shit right here.
I haven't
this is some
either,
chaos.
but I'm actually quite intrigued.
I don't think I can handle that.
You don't think so?
Half cinnamon raisin?
Yeah.
Half everything?
No, I wouldn't mix those two.
Yeah, those wouldn't be good.
Cinnamon raisin, maybe a sesame. I would do sesame and a cinnamon raisin, 1 and 1.
I really want a bagel now.
I know. Don't they sound delicious?
Okay, then the phone rings and Jimmy has invited them
Bring,
to go
bring.
to see Marissa in the hospital. She's not dead, but we do learn they had to airlift her out of Tijuana.
That's
And
expensive, Scott.
If they hadn't have airlifted her out right away, she would have died. They had to pump her stomach because she swallowed I think they said 12 sleeping pills.
So, Scott, I do have a question about this.
Uh-huh.
Where in that alleyway is room for a helicopter?
Babe, did you not see Ryan walk her out of the alleyway holding her like he was Superman? That's how the last episode ended.
There's still very little space over there in order to land a helicopter.
I mean, my question is I don't know how this works. Because you're in a different country.
Yeah.
So is an emergency helicopter from Newport flying to Tijuana to airlift someone
No, they definitely would have used a Mexican helicopter to a hospital. And then after that, once they pumped her stomach, they would have then transported her to Newport, which is some more cha-ching.
That'd be a lot of money.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're
rich. It's a good thing my dad is bankrupt.
Yeah. Turns out they're not rich.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Julie rolls up and is not happy to see the Coens there, especially Ryan.
Well, yeah.
Then she pulls Ryan aside and says, "Look here, mister. Ever since you got here, my daughter has been nothing but trouble. And
Right
it's all
here in
your fault.
River City.
In addition to stealing cars, burning down houses, and befriending would-be assassins, you've almost killed my daughter." So the would-be assassin, the would-be assassin in this case is the one dude he worked with that shot Luke in the arm.
Assassins.
So, Julie Cooper.
Julie Cooper is what we call an exaggerator.
Yeah, and
that is not me.
And-
I am not Julie Cooper.
this is not a pro Julie Cooper episode. I mean, she certainly loves her daughter, but she acts like a
mom?
Yeah, a bad mom.
Like a protective mom?
Yeah,
Like she's trying to help her daughter?
Are you
Well, in this part,
sympathetic to Julie
You know what?
Cooper?
I forgot about what she pulls in the middle of this episode, and I don't
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, this
so,
is a bad Cooper episode.
Bad Cooper.
Julie Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. So, California, here we come. California, here we come.
All right, back from commercial break.
And we get our first look at Seth and Ryan's school, the Harbor School, which is basically what you would think an extremely rich people prep school would look like.
Yup.
I mean, we have these stucco buildings. We have the red roof with the clay. We have people playing lacrosse out front with their artistry bushes and
We have
landscaping.
tennis courts and swimming pools. And the
Yes.
first time it said that in the show, I was like, wow, tennis courts and swimming pools. Then I was like, wait a minute. My high school definitely had tennis courts and swimming pools in it.
We had a tennis court. We didn't have a swimming pool,
You
but
didn't
we
have
had
You
we
didn't have an indoor swimming pool? Wait, did
Well-
we? I don't know.
Okay.
Huh.
Here's let me. We didn't, and then right next to our ginormous football stadium that they rebuilt, we now have an aquatic center.
Wow.
So yes, we do now have some pools.
I mean, we had a swim team.
We also had a hockey team, but we didn't have an arena, and so they always had to go to Allen in order to practice for their hockey.
I'm looking for my high school. It appears my high school has a swimming pool,
Okay.
but I don't know if it had it when I was there.
So, Scott, your question is why do you need a whole week to register? And why do you register for high school? Registration is a very lengthy, laborious process for all of school workers, and they do need a full in fact week.
What are you talking about?
Registration.
What are you talking about?
Why do they need a whole week to register?
Yeah.
Why do you register for high school? I'm answering your question.
Why is
Why is what?
I don't understand. I don't understand, what
Understand
you're talking
what?
about. Why are they at school to like? Did you register a week before school when you were in high school? Did you go to school and pick your
If
classes?
you were the new student,
yeah, but
you have to go
Seth
up
is
to
there
the school.
too. Everyone's going to the school.
I don't know.
We
Scott.
registered the year before, I thought.
Yes, if you are a student that was
Yeah.
enrolled in the school before, you selected your classes the year prior.
Yeah, but like everyone's there registering.
Scott, I'm just commenting on the fact that registration is a very long process, and I did not realize all the work that goes into it.
Yeah,
and I think that we should really give the registrars as much time
for
as
the
they
staff,
want.
yeah, I'm talking about for the children.
Well, they're not enrolled. This is during their summertime. They're just going up there to
It
go up
doesn't
there.
seem like it's during their summertime. It seems like summer's over.
No. Well, what are they going to do? Just go up and register and then just hang out?
It seems like it.
No, Scott.
Everything that happens in this episode, most of the stuff that happens in this episode happens at the school. Seth and Summer have a whole conversation where they're just hanging out at school during registration week.
That's weird, Scott.
I agree. It's weird.
Anyways,
Sandy is having his first day as well at his new office. And there's this funny thing where they draw a direct line between Ryan experiencing the fancy new high school and Sandy experiencing the fancy new office. Because
Yeah.
they both, it's like, oh, we'll show you the state-of-the-art gym. And it's like, oh, you have a gym? Just like, oh, you have a swimming pool and a tennis court? And they both say, oh, what, your old school or your old office didn't have those things?
basketball
And they
court?
said, oh, we had a basketball hoop. Not even a court, a hoop.
you mean a trash ball hoop?
No, I didn't mean that. That's very disrespectful. I meant a basketball hoop.
Sorry. Okay.
What are you doing?
So Ryan's going to meet with Dr.
No,
Kim.
we have to talk about Veggie Tray Man.
Veggie Tray. Please do elaborate on Veggie Tray Man.
Like, it's like probably 8:30 in the morning. Sandy has just gotten to work on his first day, and there's just a dude behind him with like the world's biggest veggie tray.
You know.
And the weird thing about this, Elise,
I have an answer to your question, but I'll let you finish.
Okay. The weird thing about this is most veggie trays, like
Yes.
if you're thinking of what a carrot in a veggie tray looks like,
Yeah.
it's a baby carrot, right? It's a baby
No,
carrot.
sometimes they have like the carrots. They chop the end off of it with the green sprouts, and then they just slice them in half.
Baby, this was a full ass carrot. This veggie tray had full ass carrots in it.
It was. So let me tell you why.
8:30 a.m. full ass carrot veggie tray.
Let me tell you what happened with this veggie tray, Scott, and why this veggie tray was seen.
We're
in this.
breaking the important news stories here at
Scott.
Whatcha Say.
You heard it here first, guys.
What's that?
This veggie tray was from the craft services, and the guy mysteriously and accidentally walked behind in the scene. And we thought, oh my, we should remove him. But we can't because we can't afford to reshoot the scene. And so we're just going to play it off as a nice veggie tray that all lawyer offices get.
You're absolutely correct. You were absolutely correct. Or they were just short extras, and they said, "You craft service guy, stand in there." Well, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Grab that.
Let's just show everyone how big our carrots are. Yeah. Okay. So now we're with Dr. Kim.
Yeah,
And Ryan and Dr. Kim are there because you have to pass a test and meet with the principal in order to get to go to the school.
Yeah, because it's the harbor school.
Yes. So the principal, now I am not this type of person, but the principal just says, Seth, always interesting to see you.
Isn't that such a is that such a weird thing to say to a student? What does that mean? What does it mean? Not always good to see you. Not always wonderful to see
not
you.
the best.
It's just interesting.
It's not the best.
It's really wonderful.
Dr. Kim doesn't really want to let Ryan into the school because he's poor. He has a record.
Yeah.
He's from Chino. All of these
went,
things.
He went to a public school.
Yeah. Who works or goes to public schools?
Gross. See, that's a joke because Elise works at a public school.
Anyways, but Ryan convinces her with his amazing oratory skills, just like with Sandy.
Yeah, since when did Ryan was Ryan good at arguments?
Who
The dude
knew?
doesn't talk.
I can't change where I'm from, but I can change where I'm going.
It's a great line. It's a great line.
Thanks. I did it expertly. You know, some people think that Ryan is the best actor on the show, but I say no. It's me.
So Dr. Kim decides that Ryan must pass a placement exam, and
Yeah.
if he passes that, he's in. Here's my question. Yeah, like, shouldn't that have just been normal operating procedure? Like, he wrote an essay, he had his past grades,
No, Scott.
and then you take a test,
No,
a placement test.
Here's
If
the,
it's called,
the line.
If it's called a placement exam, is the point of the exam not to determine where to place you
You
in the
have
school?
to pass the interview first. If you don't pass the interview, you don't get the exam.
I guess.
If they don't like the way they look, they're not going to let you take the test.
I just feel like the show seemed like they were making an exception and
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, we don't really want to let you in, but okay, we're going to do this we don't normally do this, but we're going to do this placement test. And it just seems like that is standard operating procedure, and they wanted us to think. They wanted us to think that they were making exceptions for Ryan. I don't know. I'm being mean to the show today.
You
It's
are.
just silly.
Why are you being so mean? Why are you
Because
being such
Summer
a Julie
hasn't-
Cooper?
Because Summer hasn't been in the show yet, and I'm ticked off
Why
about
don't you?
it.
Well, we're about to come up to that because Seth and Summer bump into each other on campus.
They do.
Yeah, and then they talk about Marissa because Marissa brings everyone together.
Yeah, and Seth tries to my boy who learned some confidence tries to ask her out directly. He says, maybe we can take Marissa out to a movie, and like while we're waiting for that, maybe like you and I could like go to a movie or something else. And Summer,
Oh my gosh, what is she doing with him? What a nerd.
you just skip.
I know, I just really wanted to say it, and
Okay.
I thought you were going to try and read
I
it, so
wasn't
I just wanted to read it first.
Yeah, so like as he's asking her this, a bunch of cheerleaders walk by and say, "Oh, hey, Summer," and she's like, "Hey," and then it's obvious she's really and like it's weird because it's not like dialogue. I had to like crank my volume up to hear this, but they do say, "What is she doing with him? What a nerd." And it's like, mean. He's just sitting at a chair. He's not doing anything. Why are people so mean to
And
Seth?
you know, Seth is attractive.
Yeah. And he's
Seth's
cool.
a good-looking
He
dude.
skateboards. He likes cool music.
Now, Scott,
He likes comic books.
back then, those were not the cool things in 2000s.
He likes video games.
They are the cool things now, but
He has t-shirts that are like bands related.
yeah. He wears those tight t-shirts and those baggy,
And the baggy pants. I hate it. I hate that look. I hate that look, but I wanted to be able to pull off that look when I was a kid, and I never could because I was not built like that. I wasn't skinny dude, so I just couldn't do it. Yeah, but Seth realizes the game immediately when he says back to her, "I get it. We're back at school now. Old rules apply," meaning she will continue to go on ignoring.
Cut to the hut.
And I gotta say, babe, I was pretty pissed off at Summer for this.
Were
I was
you?
pretty pissed off. You don't do my boy Cohen like that. You don't.
But she did.
You don't kiss my boy. You don't bury your head into his shoulder while you're concerned about your
yeah,
friend.
I forgot about
to
that
just-
shoulder
to
twist
just
turn.
Ditch him.
Well, that's what she does. And you know who also ditches her man is Julie.
That's a great transition, babe.
Julie and Jimmy are done. But Julie and Jimmy are arguing, and Julie continues to blame everyone, literally everyone except for herself, for everything that's going with Marissa.
Oh yeah.
So Julie has decided to ask for sole custody of Marissa and Caitlin. Jimmy is going to get nothing. And here's the deal, is if he even tries to fight for it, she's going to not let him have any visitations or anything.
Not even supervised visitations.
Yeah.
It's so harsh. And
Yeah.
of course, the wonderfully tragic part about this is during this whole fight, this whole conversation, Marissa, who has been sleeping the whole time, is actually awake, and we see a tear roll down her cheek.
Don't cry out loud.
I mean, the weird thing about this is, like, obviously Julie's wrong here in that it is not, like, she has some responsibility in this whole thing, too. But, like, she's also not wrong that Jimmy really fucked up their family by doing what he did.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just the idea that, like, she's decided to get a divorce that's messing up her daughter, and that can't be her fault at all.
No. It's never the woman's fault.
Julie.
It's always the man.
Julie.
So Ryan is trying to study for the test, and Seth is just going on and on about Summer. Now, here's the deal with studying for this test.
Uh-huh.
Seth has a copy of the test.
Why does Seth have a copy of the test?
Seth saved all the questions.
When did they say that?
Yes.
When?
He was like, I saved all the questions, and so here's this in order for you to study. And that's what he's going through and doing.
Well, that seems like a really easy test. And
Yeah.
also cheating.
Yeah.
They don't change the test?
No.
Why did Seth take the placement exam?
Because everybody has to take the placement exam in order to get in, Scott.
So
it's
you
just
just-
some people,
you
it
just
doesn't matter what score you get in
You
order
just
to go.
proved my point.
What?
So wait, was the placement exam like the freshman entry placement exam?
No, every grade has a placement exam.
So they have to take a placement exam every year.
No, just to get in the school.
Well, why did Seth take the junior year placement exam?
Scott,
What?
we're not going to meddle in just trivial conversation.
It's not trivial. It is important.
They are not juniors.
They are juniors.
I thought they were sophomores.
There's literally a point where Marissa is talking to her counselor where she says in 9th grade you had anorexia, in 10th grade you stole cigarettes.
Okay, here's the deal, though. The last season, there's 4 seasons.
Uh-huh.
The last season, they go to college.
Uh-huh.
Senior year, season 3. Junior year, season 2. Sophomore year, season 1.
Look, babe, I'm just repeating what the show's saying.
I don't know if you're repeating what the show said. I think you're making it up. Lies.
Can we
All of them lies.
talk about different things now?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
We talk about how in the middle of the studying, Marissa calls Ryan on the phone and is like, I need, come see me, please. I need you.
But
and Ryan's just like, fuck studying.
He's trying to get his life right. And you know what happens every time he tries to do something right?
Women.
Marissa Cooper comes in.
Marissa Cooper.
And she ruins
Life
everything.
ruiner.
Yes.
Like mother, like daughter.
Exactly. So Ryan goes. He brings her flowers. He bought them at the gift shop because
It's really pretty.
He didn't think about it before,
It's
but
really
it's
pretty
cute.
dinky
It's cute.
flower. But it's dinky, but it's
sweet.
cute. Yeah.
Julie shows up and Ryan hides so that Julie doesn't see him. But what? Before he got here, you were happy? Oh, is she talking?
Yeah, that's what Julie
I
says.
forgot
to him.
about that. Yeah.
She says, before he got here, you were happy. And Coop is like, no, I wasn't. And it's true. I mean, we met Julie Cooper as kind of an unhappy person. Like, we saw right away, like, she was abusing alcohol even before Ryan got there. She was not a happy person. She was suffering from some stuff. Her relationship with her mother is contentious, and she's suffering about it. And we see in this moment the whole scope of the problem is Coop starts trying to tell her mom, no, I wasn't happy before that. I haven't been happy for a while. And I haven't told you about that because you won't listen. And Julie, like, immediately is like, oh, well, I've got to go talk to the security guard about making sure this Ryan kid can't get in anymore. And she just storms off. And it's like, oh, okay. Great.
Yeah. So Jimmy shows up at the Cohens asking once again for legal help because Jimmy was really good at helping. I mean, Sandy was really good at digging Jimmy out of that hole once.
Sandy knows, grand theft defenses.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at SEC law, and now apparently he's also good at child custody law. Those are three very different areas of the law.
You know
that
one
he
law, you know
apparently
them all,
is
right,
versed
Scott?
at. Yeah, but a question: do people have phones in Newport?
They do have phones.
Why
Scott.
did he call Sandy
They
on
have
his cell phone?
landlines and cell phones.
Why-
But here's the deal. You know, whenever the cell phones first came out, people didn't know. Do I call the landline? Do I call the cell phone? You could call and leave messages and miss people at both. So you know what's best to happen? Just show up at their doorstep. Just force them to see you.
That is the worst possible.
I think that's what I'm going to start doing. You know, anytime that I want to talk to somebody, I'm not going to call. I'm just going to show up at their door.
Especially if it's like a 2-minute conversation. Just show up at their door and then leave. Perfect. Good plan.
Hey, you have a cup of sugar? No, I have a neighbor, but I thought the 20-minute drive would be worth it.
The important part of this scene, though, is that there is some awkwardness. Kirsten says, come on in. And Jimmy's like, I think I'll stay outside. And they're awkward. Why are they awkward, Elise?
Because they kissed and neither of them have told Sandy.
Yeah.
It's the elephant in the room.
And he apologizes for the kiss. And she's like, oh, it's fine. Blah, 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 blah.
But
Everything's
she's
good.
not fine.
Nope.
She wants him to go away.
Nope.
Yeah. So Julie's decided that she's going to send Marissa to an institute for troubled women in San Diego. And she's going to be getting evaluated by a doctor. So solution to the problem is just get rid of the daughter.
Get rid of her. I love her so much. I'm going to get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
Cool, Mom.
I don't think that's great parenting.
No, I don't think it is either. And look.
I mean, let me take this back. There are certain instances where, yes, children do get to the point where seeking some other help, whether it be sending to schools in order to get help, is warranted and needed. And that does not mean it's bad parenting. In this certain situation, that's not the solution. It's not the solution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing we don't want to minimize in this calling out of Julie Cooper is this idea that Marissa did almost kill herself. Like, this is what she did was actually very serious, and she has some serious underlying issues
and she
that
does
she
need
needs
to
look
help.
at. But I think her mom is making the worst possible choices to help her do that.
Yeah. I agree. But you know, Julie's not really good at making decisions just in her own normal life anyway, so I'm sure she wouldn't be making good decisions for anyone else.
True. Well, and she's overcompensating. I think there's a part of Julie that realizes that everything that is happening here is her fault, and so she's overcompensating to avoid taking the blame.
Yeah.
So like, and she's scared. Like, she almost lost her daughter. That's scary. That is legitimately scary.
It is.
But let's move on to more important things.
Okay, what are we going to move on to?
Summer showing up in Seth's bedroom.
What? Summer is going to his room?
Yes.
His bedroom?
She shows up there, and he starts the conversation off by saying, "Get out, Mom, I'm studying naked," which creeps Summer out.
Because she pictured him naked.
She did, didn't she?
She did,
and she came in
she?
anyway.
And she
but he
did.
opened the door, and she closes her eyes, which is a really great callback to the moment where the door was open and Seth,
at her.
and he just stared at her. Summer is better.
And this is where we meet
Captain Oates.
the man, the myth, the legend, Captain Oates.
Are we going to find out why he has a toy horse named Captain Oates ever?
Are we?
I don't know. I'm asking the question. It just seems very random. In a room filled with really cool
We
teenage
do learn
stuff.
more about Captain Oates as the seasons progress,
Okay,
Scott.
good.
We do.
Yeah. So basically, Summer is here because Marissa has called Summer for help, and so Summer immediately is like, I need Ryan. I need Ryan's help. Goes there, finds Seth to ask where Ryan is.
And Seth thinks he can do it because Seth has realized that, he loves Summer
Yeah.
and Summer is in his bedroom, so he can take on anything, right?
And Summer is looking to do something radical,
Yeah.
and Ryan's like, what's wrong with me? I'm not radical enough?
Well, that depends. Are you ready to take on Julie Cooper?
Seth's response. We need Ryan.
Everyone's afraid of Julie Cooper.
Yeah, so they basically decide to go get Ryan, despite the fact that he's literally in the middle of taking his placement exam. And there's this one part, we have to do another Is Seth Creepy part, because as they're walking out of the bedroom, Seth says, he points at his bed and says, that's my bed. Just wanted you to know. I have a feeling you'll be spending a lot of, and then Summer interrupts. Look, it's really funny. It's really funny. It is like the confidence, like,
Well, had they not already had the night where they spent together
Sure.
in the hotel,
Sure.
I think it would be very creepy. But
I also
You
think
know.
I also think this matches up to their established relationship, which includes him being like almost overconfident in his being
Yes.
convinced that she digs him and her like denying it constantly. I think
Yes.
that is very much their dynamic. So I'm going to say in this case, not creepy.
I would agree with you on that.
Seth Cohen, not creepy.
Seth Cohen. Very funny.
Very funny. That's my bet.
Creepy or funny?
Oh,
What is it? I don't know. So Sandy's in trouble at work for going to trial with too many cases instead of just settling, because that's what all good law firms do. Is they don't ever take it to the case to court. They just settle.
it's kind of hilarious to me how this on his first day, how much Sandy clearly hates this job. Like the entirety of the time with this new coworker, Rachel, he's making fun of the company. He's making fun of the work they're doing. He's making fun of the clients they have.
Yeah.
He's making fun of what they want him to do. He hates it. He hates the cases. He hates having to settle. He hates all of it. And you're just like, Sandy, why did you take this job? Why did you do it?
To support the family.
Because a fucking grandpa.
You put your career over your family.
What's his
I mean,
last
your
name?
family
What's
over
their
your
grandpa's
career.
last name? I don't remember his name.
Caleb
Nickel.
Nickel. Yeah. That's right.
Damn Nickels.
They're going to nickel and dime you for sure.
Surely the show will make that joke eventually.
Okay, so Ryan's in the middle of taking his test when Seth.
Hey, don't.
Ryan's in the middle of
mumble.
taking his test, and Seth and Summer show up, and they need him. So he completely just blows off the test because he's Ryan. And again, if I'm on the right path, but Marissa needs me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just blow everything and try and help Marissa.
See, Ryan has a priority system in his life, and at the top of that priority system
Is never him.
is Marissa Cooper. If Marissa needs anything, it automatically makes any other priority in his life go away.
Now, Scott, let's also go over how long have they actually known each other?
I believe Ryan moved to Newport in July at the earliest, possibly
Okay.
beginning of August. So maybe 6 weeks to a month. If school's about to start, we'll assume it's around Labor Day, right?
They sure do move fast, don't they?
They haven't actually. They've gone on one date. Mm-hmm. And look, I think it's kind of adorable that he likes her so much. He's going to do anything for her. But he gets basically told by Dr. Kim, "You walk away from this test. You walk away from this school." And he's like, "Oh, okay, bye."
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah. So he's trying to go help Marissa, but Marissa's already getting some help in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And we are learning about her history, which you've already so wonderfully recounted for us, that she had anorexia in 9th grade.
Well, Julie Cooper says it was anorexia. Coop says it was tennis season and she was really stressed out. But here's because correct me if I'm wrong, but Misha Barton suffered from anorexia. Is that correct?
I do believe.
Was it after this?
I don't know. She's
Okay.
very tiny in this.
Yeah. I think this is like, I think we're kind of half supposed to just write this off as Julie Cooper exaggerating, but it's also clear to me that Marissa has stuff going on. So I would not be surprised if this was if she actually had an issue with eating in ninth grade. I would not be surprised at all.
She also shoplifts.
Yeah, she stole cigarettes.
She gets blackout drunk.
Uh-huh.
And no one knows what's actually going on with her and her mom.
That's what the therapist is trying to get to the bottom of. Clearly, the issues you have stem from what is going on with you and your mother, the relationship you have with your mother. And the therapist is going to actually help her get to that, which is great. It's good.
Except only in San Diego.
Well, we got to see what the therapist says. If the therapist says it can be done here in Newport, why wouldn't it be a good thing for it to be done here in Newport? Oh, wait, because Ryan is here.
Ryan is here.
Yeah.
Ryan is there in the hospital. But so are Seth and Summer. And Summer is dressed up as a candy striper.
And
It's not, she does this on a regular basis, Scott. She dresses as a candy striper and goes and she helps people in the hospital.
She volunteers at the hospital as
We
a candy
learned
striper.
that she has a heart.
And she is also wearing the most stereotypical 1950s candy striper uniform you've ever seen. And the camera loves it because the first time we see her, the camera does this like pan, this up pan. And we hear Seth Cohen saying, "Good Lord."
Is Seth creepy?
a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. Good Lord, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
You know.
So the therapist is telling Julie and Jimmy about Marissa, that she doesn't need to see her at the institute, but Julie still wants her to go, but Jimmy disagrees.
And this is when Julie Cooper does the worst possible thing she has ever done in this entire show.
Which is?
She walks up to the therapist, tells her that her and her ex-husband have decided that Marissa is going to the institute.
Without Jimmy hearing. She
Yeah.
just does it on her own.
Yep. Jimmy has not consented. Jimmy does not agree. She has not discussed it with her daughter. She just makes a decision. And I think that's actually terrible. And again, it's important that she gets help. She's clearly not well. She almost died. She almost took her life, whether it was an accident or not. She almost just did that. So that's really serious. It's a cry for help, and she needs that help. But Marissa or Julie wants it her way and only her way, and nothing else matters. Her friends don't matter. Her father doesn't matter. Her sister doesn't matter. None of it matters except for what Julie wants and what Julie gets.
What Julie wants, Julie gets.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids are going to break Marissa out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Mission not impossible, Scott.
Yeah, and I continue to love the Seth and Summer, everything. So Summer is standing there in her candy striper uniform with her cart of books, because apparently one of the things she does when she volunteers is bring books to some of the elderly patients and reads to them. And Seth sees Madame Bovary and starts talking about it. And Summer says, "Yeah, it was okay. I thought the ending was a real bummer, though." And she goes on and talks about the ending of Madame Bovary. And Seth is shocked because Summer's reading Madame Bovary. And she says to her, "You're a strange and mysterious woman, Summer." Summer likes that.
You know, he finds out that Summer is far more intelligent than he had thought.
Compassionate, intelligent.
He finds out that Marissa also shares some music and literary passions that he has. You know, had Seth actually given the time of day to these people that he's gone to school with for years, he might have actually found that they would have been his friends all along.
I think you're right. I think Seth has kind of a victim complex in this whole thing, where and that is not to say that people aren't mean to him. I mean, we saw in the cheerleaders that immediately attacked him. We see in Luke that Luke's an asshole to him. But he has decided, and I think his father is partially to blame for this because his father is so anti-Newport as well.
Yeah.
He has decided that none of these people are good. I don't like any of these people. I don't care about any of these people. They're all shallow, selfish, terrible human beings, and he has written them off, and then he uses his write-off as an excuse for why they are excluding him. It's a victim complex. It really is. Seth is not a perfect human being, but I think he's learning. Yeah. And I love that Summer's a more complicated person. I love that. Yeah, she didn't choose to read Madame Bovary, but as part of her volunteer work, she read it to a dude 3 times.
Yeah.
She's read I haven't read Madame Bovary once. I've never read that book.
I haven't either.
But Summer has, and Seth has, and they're bonding over it.
So the kids are showing up referring to Ryan, Seth, and Summer, but there's another kid that shows up.
Ugh.
and bloop, 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 Luke.
Bloop, bloop,
Luke
bloop.
shows up with flowers
He's
that
got way better
do
flowers.
not look like they were purchased in the shop down at the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And, Luke has redeemed himself back and forth over and over again for, trying to help with Ryan. And he tries to do the right thing again here by not ratting everyone out to Julie, but helping Marissa get out of the hospital.
Sure.
He tries to be the nice guy. Then Jimmy and Kirsten, they show up at a restaurant looking for Sandy so that they can get some more of the legal help, who is having after dinner drinks with his new coworkers. And this is where Kirsten meets Rachel.
It's not co-workers, it's co-worker, and it's Rachel. And Rachel is a little drunky and being, a little friendly.
A little touchy-feely.
Kirsten is not happy. She's clearly very jealous. She's clearly mad. And it gives Sandy a very much we're going to fight about this later look, which they will.
Yeah. So then Jimmy shows up at home and Marissa is there with all of the other kids.
Yeah.
She basically, just
I ran
spills
away.
everything
Mom
to
is
her
gonna
dad.
send me to an
Yeah.
insane asylum. And of course, Jimmy's pissed off because he didn't get to hear about that.
Yeah.
Please help me.
And she wants to live with him. So he has a really good relationship with Marissa and obviously wanted to do anything that he can, but he recognizes the threat that Julie made earlier and knows that if he ever does anything wrong, that's it, and he's never going to be able to see Marissa again because of all the stuff that he had with the financial ruin. And so Julie calls, and while Jimmy's arguing with her, Marissa runs away again.
Mm-hmm. And that's when we see when the moving company that helped Jimmy move into his new apartment.
I don't know why you like this so much.
Is called Box Bros. I don't know. It's just really funny. Is there a real company called Box Bros?
I don't know, Scott. Google it.
I will. I'm going to Google it.
And Google margarita recipes while you're at it. Thank you.
Box Brothers.
It's true. Is it in California? So while you're looking this up, Ryan offers to skip town with Marissa or to stay away from her if that helps things with her mom. Mm-hmm. He's just trying to do whatever's right for Marissa. But Marissa doesn't want that. And if she could just get her to listen, she could just get Julie Cooper to listen. That's what the world has been trying to do for all of Julie Cooper's life.
Since her birth.
Yes.
Just Julie, listen
and it's
to
not
me.
happening. But Sandy gets home from work. And he doesn't understand why Kirsten is so upset.
I love this line. I don't understand why you're so upset. I mean, I understand, but it's nothing. She works with the firm. I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
And he brings up the fact that, hey, you spent the entire weekend at Jimmy Cooper's apartment, and I didn't worry because nothing was going on. Right?
Right, Kirsten?
And,
right, Kiki?
And you know what Kirsten says?
Yeah.
Right.
Except for the fact that he laid a big one on her.
So basically this whole thing is like, I have to work with this woman. You're just going to have to trust me. You're friends with Jimmy Cooper. I'm just going to have to trust you. We're just going to have to trust each other. And they both agree to do that, except one of them is lying.
Who's lying?
Kirsten.
Are you sure?
I think both of them are lying. Because here's the thing we didn't talk about earlier.
Yes.
I was going to make another cell phone thing about why the fuck don't these people just call each other on the cell phones when Kirsten shows up at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. But she says, I tried to call your cell phone and I couldn't get a hold of you. So was he ignoring it? Was it off? Did he turn off his phone to hang out with Rachel?
Who knows?
Look, Kirsten is doing wrong. Absolutely. Not telling your husband about this. Absolutely wrong.
Scott, you better tell me.
If an old fling of mine kisses me, I will tell you.
Okay.
I would not put myself in a situation where that would happen, first off.
Thank
but
you.
if it did, I would tell you.
Thank you.
And if you're hanging out after work, drinking margaritas with one of your coworkers, you better tell me.
I sure will.
You better. And if I text you or call you on you better pick up that phone.
Well, not if you call me, but I'll text you after and be like, "Hey,
yeah, just don't ignore
having
me.
drinks with the boys."
Don't make me call your school and then find out where you are. It's such a weird thing to do.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. So Ryan calls Sandy for advice because this whole thing with Marissa. Marissa doesn't want to go. The thing with her parents. So,
And Sandy says the lesson of this episode.
if I've learned anything at all this week, it's you don't want to go to court over this. You're gonna want to settle.
Yeah. So that
Sandy, a wise one.
So that moves into Julie and Ryan kind of just having it out. They invite Julie Cooper over to the house, and Ryan is waiting there for her. And Sandy is kind of mediating the entire conversation. And I like Ryan's kind of being a jerk. He's like, if you ever want to see your daughter again, you'll listen to me. And Sandy's like, hey, hold on.
I'm holding her hostage. You owe me $3 million.
Yeah. I also it's like, hey, Miss Cooper, you're from Riverside, right? And she gets like super indignant again. It's like just a reminder.
This is the second time that she's been called from Riverside, which you know what? Yes, it's true. But we don't talk about who's from Riverside here or talk about who's from Chino.
No,
unless we're telling everyone how horrible Ryan is because he's from Chino.
Once you are in Newport, you have to pretend like you've always been from Newport, or you are ostracized from the entire community immediately.
Yes.
So this is the most Ryan has talked in the entire show in this argument he has with Julie Cooper. Something which
he's standing up for Marissa.
Something which Sandy Cohen will comment on later. But yeah, I mean, it's because when it comes to Marissa, Ryan will become a totally different person, move out of his comfort zone, do whatever he needs to do. This includes going toe to toe with the Dragon Lady herself,
Julie Cooper. So even though she's a dragon lady, she finally has a heart, and she tells everyone that the reason she's acting the way that she is because she's scared.
Yeah.
And she's still upset about Marissa wanting to live with her dad.
Yeah, she finally relents to allowing Marissa to live with her father, but then says, this isn't over, Marissa, which is like ominous as hell.
Yeah.
Like that's like.
But you know what? All this stuff that he's done for Marissa. And he finally gets a cheek peck.
It's a little on the cheek. Just on the cheek.
Not on
That's
the mouth.
It's a lot of work. Just get thrown out of private school just for a...
Imagine what he's going to have to do to get a kiss on the mouth.
I think murder someone. I think that's what we got to get to.
It's something to consider.
So while this is all going on, Seth and Summer are hanging out by the pool, and they're all cozy, hanging out by the side of the pool. And Seth is continuing to be confident about us. You really think you're not going to be able to hang out with me once school starts? And then Kirsten comes out and says,
Seth's parents always ruining this game.
Kirsten comes out and says it's time to take Marissa home to her father's. Summer gets up and goes to take her home, and then Seth says goodbye, Summer. And Summer does this thing, Elise. I rewound it.
I would do it.
I rewound it and watched it twice.
No noise.
She does this she looks over her shoulder at him,
and she
just does this happy smile, and then she walks off. It is definitely an I like you smile. Like absolutely 1 billion%, and I'm into you smile.
But it's just a little thing we do.
It's just a little thing we do. And then Kirsten says, all right, now it's time to talk about your surprise trip to Tijuana.
It's pronounced Tijuana.
Tijuana, Mom.
Tijuana. God, you're so white.
Oh, Seth.
That's the funniest part of the whole show.
It is.
Seth. Every episode.
And then, of course, Sandy encourages Ryan to go talk to Dr. Kim, because if you went toe-to-toe with Julie Cooper, the Dragon Lady, you can talk to Dr. Kim. And once again, he kind of he mediates again. They settle with Dr. Kim. He gets to take the placement exam. He passes it, of course, and now he is going to the Harbor School.
Dude, you're a pirate. Hookin. We tried to do it, but you can't see it because this is an all audio podcast because we can't do YouTube video.
If you guys are watching this episode with us, please go back and look at the scene and look at what Ryan and Seth are doing when the conversation kind of moves away from them. They're kind of in the background, and like Seth is like holding up a hook hand, and then he like tries to do like a handshake with the hook hand with Ryan.
Okay, so here's what you do. You take your middle finger.
Don't act like you know the whole
No,
thing.
I saw what they were doing. You take the middle finger and you take your pointer finger and you cross them over like you're making little legs that have to go potty.
You're overcomplicating
and
this.
Then you bend them down so that it's a hook. And then you have two people, and each people hook their potty legs. And that's the pirate hook shake.
You heard it here first. You hook your potty legs. That's how you do it.
So, Scott, I'm so glad that the end of the show has brought to everyone's attention why we watch the show.
Sandy's eyebrows.
They are a sign of power. They are the sign of strength.
Yeah, so the end of this episode is Sandy takes out his new work ID and shows it to the boys. And Seth's response is, Dad, your eyebrows. And he says, they're a sign of power, you know. Then you must be the most powerful man in the world. And yes, he is. Peter Gallagher.
Is.
Sandy Cohen.
Those brows give you strength. Never shave them or pluck them.
Let them
You are
go wild.
Samson.
They're wild and free, just like America. I don't know.
It wasn't good.
But it's a happy ending. Unlike
a
last
happy
week
ending.
where we thought Marissa was dead and being walked
You
out.
can't have two bummer episodes.
Happy
in a row.
ending. And next week, we're
Yeah.
going to go to school, baby.
We are.
It's school time, baby. Registration
Ding,
week is
the school
over.
is in.
But-
So, Scott, let's talk about Whatcha Say 2000s on this
That's
episode.
so 2000.
So 2000. So we have the return, Scott, of Julie's infamous sweatsuit.
Ugh, gross.
Matching sweatsuit too. This was not a Juicy Couture one, but this was a sweatsuit. Next up is Seth's Mac computer. He has a desktop Mac.
He has the iMac, right? The
Yeah.
translucent one that was in a lot
Yeah.
of colors.
Yeah.
Man, that's really frickin' 2000s right there.
Well, not like the big hunker one. It was the one that was, I think it was the
What
later version.
What was the first iMac?
Anyways, then the next thing is in the early 2000s when cell phones came out, every home had a landline with a cordless phone and a cell phone. Before we realized that landlines were useless if everyone has a cell phone. So, landlines and cell phones in the same household. That's my third thing. So, Scott, out of these, what do you think is the most 2000s?
I'm going to go with the very particular landline cell phone combination.
I'm going to go with that
because
too.
this is really specific to this time period.
It is.
And very quickly after this, people just start getting rid of landlines. Except
They
for
do.
my parents, for some reason, who still have a landline.
Why?
And I don't know why.
I know sometimes you have to have a line for security reasons or for internet things, but I thought that that's not
No.
even true anymore.
No, not true. That's not true.
Okay.
All right, so the most 2000 thing is the landlines mixed with the cell phones.
Sorry,
and
I had
now
to-
we're going to move on to Elise's favorite. Let's talk about relationship statuses.
Okay, Scott, we're going to talk about relationships this week. We're going to start again by talking about Luke and Coop. Last week, Luke and Coop were 3 out of 10. How are they rating this week, Scott?
Well, we only saw Luke once this week when he tried to give Coop flowers and beg for forgiveness. But from Marissa's point of view, it's pretty clear that they're over. Luke does help them escape, though. So we'll give them a very extremely optimistic 1 out of 10.
Okay, so they still have something that they're holding on to. Now, this week, for Coop and Ryan, last week they were a 5 out of 10. Marissa's willing to incur the wrath of the dragon lady to keep Ryan in her life, and that's got to be a good thing. Somehow, Seth and Summer are still further along in their relationship, but we can't discount that cheek peck at the end. So they have moved from a 5 out of a 10 to a 7 out of 10. Scott, now we're going to look at Seth and Summer. Last week, they were a 7 out of 10. How did this go for them this week?
Elise, did you see that look that Summer gave Seth as she walked away?
I did, Scott. I did. Reenact it one more time for me, please. There you go.
Look, I'm not saying that they're going to go to school and everything's going to be great and they're
Okay.
going to be dating. All I'm saying is that Seth wants that Cohen.
Summer wants that Cohen.
And Summer gets what Summer wants.
That's a very true statement right there, Scott. So what do you give him a rating?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's a really good rating, Scott. So this week, we had no Anna in our episodes, but the Seth and Anna rating last week, they were a 5 out of 10. And this week, who the hell is Anna anyway?
I don't
We're
even
gonna bump
remember
down
her.
that score from a 5 out of a 10 to a 3 out of 10. And we're going to see when Anna comes back how this relationship is really going to be moving forward, if any at all.
I have a prediction about that, but we will wait till we get
Okay.
to that section.
All right, Scott, Sandy and Kirsten Cohen. Last week, they had a 7 out of 10. How are they doing this week?
Oh boy, Elise, the show has given both Sandy and Kirsten an obvious extramarital love interest now.
On both sides, yes.
Kirsten is hiding that kiss from Sandy, and Sandy is
Such
still
a shame.
acting kind of shady about the whole Rachel of it all. we're going to bump them down another point.
So now they are steadily bumping down each
6.
week on their points.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. So the highest relationship we have this week goes to Seth and Summer, steadily climbing week after week. Can their love triumph them all? We will find out
It can.
next week.
There is nothing stopping the SS. Oh God, I did not realize the connotation of that.
Scott, what are your predictions for next week?
My prediction. So here's the thing. Let me do a thing. So
Okay.
the episode is called The Heights. This is the first time in a while that a name of the episode gives me absolutely no indication of what the hell we're going to be talking about. But my guess here is Anna is back. And actually, that's not a
Okay.
guess because we watched the last
The
episode on
episode on
Hulu,
Hulu.
and the
My disc was skipping.
the still image preview of this episode had a big old picture of Anna on it. So not too much of a stretch that Anna is back. But here's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, tell me.
Summer
Okay.
is going to still pursue something with Seth because she needs that Cohen in her life.
She just likes the attention.
But she's not comfortable enough to be public about it.
Okay.
So I think she's going to try to do it on the down low.
Secret relationship.
And meanwhile, Anna's going to come into the
What?
picture.
What?
And guess what Anna doesn't give a shit about?
What people
Social
think.
status. So Anna's going to roll in and just be like, and then what is Anna going to do? Anna's going to make that Summer jealous.
But Summer doesn't get jealous for Seth.
She's about to.
Is she?
She's about to get real jealous.
Interesting. Okay, Scott. Well, that's all that we have for this week. So if you like this podcast, you can check out all of the other shows that we do over at doofmedia.com, not on our YouTube channel this week. Also, consider donating to our Patreon, patreon.com/doofmedia.
You can donate $1 a month or whatever else you can afford, and that gets you access to a bunch of cool things, special exclusive content, access to our Discord, fan art contests,
Oh, that's true. All the polls for all the things.
polls,
Yep.
book club polls.
Polls. All the polls. Yep. So if you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, why don't you go over and drop us a rating and review on that so that we can get all those stars, get all those ratings and all those reviews.
And you know what? Share this
What?
podcast. If you are listening to this
Yeah,
podcast and you have a
guys.
friend out there, let's call him Joe. If you have a friend named Joe or another friend named
I know
Jennifer.
someone named Joe.
If Joe and Jennifer, and you're like,
know
oh my
someone named
God,
Jennifer.
Jennifer loves.
I know a couple people named Jennifer.
Jennifer loves the OC.
Does she?
Will you just go with me on this?
Okay. Yeah. She loves it. Scott.
Jennifer loves the OC.
Yeah.
I bet Jennifer would love this OC podcast where these two people that are very funny,
I mean, one of us is funny.
yeah, put an asterisk.
And she has hair.
Put an asterisk next to funny, that are very funny.
People have hair on their head.
And
that's me. Yep. And what?
and just let them know about the podcast. I
That
wish I
sounds
could
good.
get a sentence out without you interrupting me. Like, this just never happens. It just never happens.
It just did.
The only sentence I can get out without being interrupted is a sentence about how I'm interrupted.
I let you have it again. You're welcome.
You let me have it. That's the problem right there.
No.
Elise,
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.